Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on Biological Diversity, Environment, Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns and India's G20 presidency. And also we are commemorating World Health Organization 75th anniversary year. Along with that, we have World Bee Day 2023 commemoration today with the theme Bee Engaged in Pollinator-Friendly Agriculture Production. And we have also International Tea Day 2023, Cultural Heritage, Benefits and Economic Importance of Tea, and Sustainable Tea Cultivation and Production Processing. And we have also the International Day for Biodiversity and Cultural Diversity. And the theme for the Biodiversity Day 2023 is From Agreement to Action, Build Back Biodiversity. So on the occasion of International Day for Biodiversity and also all these commemorations, we are organizing 3 days international conference on biological diversity, environment, health, well-being and sustainable development, which is a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, multicultural and multilingual international conference, which is being held online, offline, as well as in hybrid mode, and is being conducted in Zoom platform online and is also live streamed on YouTube. So you can watch the sessions on YouTube as well, but the attendance is being taken in Zoom only, and the feedback will be taken only in the Zoom session on Zoom platform. So before we move on to further proceedings, we welcome you once again, everyone, to the international conference, and let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with the conference proceedings. As already mentioned, we are organizing this international conference in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. And there are various themes and sub-themes based on which the presentations are invited. So you can register. The feedback link will be the feedback forms. There will be no feedback link that can be shared. There will be feedback that is automatically taken through Zoom platform, through polls, and attendance is being automatically tracked by the Zoom platform. So based on your attendance and your feedback, along with your registration, will be accounted, and based on that, certificates will be issued accordingly. So we request everyone to attend daily in time so that we can close the sessions in time, and everyone also enjoy the wonderful sessions. We have eminent speakers who have almost their decades of experience of their entire life who are joining and deliberating their sessions and disseminating their vast knowledge with us. And in the context of climate change, it is very much pertinent that we all need to work on this. Otherwise, soon human beings are going to become an extinct. And as we are reading now, dinosaurs and various species have become extinct. And maybe there will be no one who will be reading about our history because there will be no humans on the planet. So that day is also going to come soon, because millions and billions of years our planet has survived. But in the last 200 to 300 years, we have seen a drastic change that has been occurring, and a lot of resources, natural resources, are getting depleted, and freshwater resources from 3% have come down to less than 1%. There is no drinking water, proper, adequate natural resources. Our forest reserves are depleting day by day. Our ecosystems are being destroyed drastically. Our oceans are filled with plastic, and more than 50% of our oceans are polluted. So the amount of adversities that are happening are giving their warnings that, where we are coming to a situation that recent IPCC reports and UN Environment Program reports and various other international organizations, all these are giving alerts to us that if we don't work on it soon, even along with various species, the nature has to decide whether among 8 billion species, whether the one species that has become a threat to the entire 8+ billion species has to survive on the planet or not. So because we have taken all the natural resources and all the species for granted, and we are violating the natural rules and regulations, and we are violating the rights of other species, and we have become a great threat to the planet itself, along with the nature and the 8 billion species. Now, nature is trying to balance, and soon, if it has to take a decision, if it is like do and die, definitely it will be left with no option to eliminate these humans on the planet so that 8 billion species are saved on the planet. So whether we live coexisting in harmony with the nature, along with the 8 billion species, or whether we will create a do or die situation is up to us. So we will get into all these details. So I'm opening the context, what is going to happen And these are based on various reports that are given by the international organizations. So we will look into each and every aspect in coming 3 days. We will have wonderful sessions by experts from different fields. And also we will have few paper presentations by our research scholars and academicians from academia from across the world. So let's, with this context, but still being, positive, constructive, and productive towards a positive change that can be brought. So let's hope for the best, and let's hope that our initiatives are going to be in harmony with the nature and planet so that we can coexist and thrive in harmony. So today, before we move on to the proceedings, today we are commemorating World Bee Day, as bees and other pollinators such as butterflies, bats, and hummingbirds are increasingly under threat from human activities. Pollination is, however, a fundamental process for the survival of our ecosystems, and nearly 90% of the world's wild-flowering plant species depend entirely, or at least in part, on animal pollination. Along with more than 75% of the world's food crops and 35% of the global agricultural land, not only do pollinators contribute directly to food security, but they are key to conserving biodiversity. To raise awareness of the importance of pollinators, the threats they face, and contribution to sustainable development, the UN designated 20th May as World Bee Day. So the goal is to strengthen measures and aim at protecting bees and other pollinators, which would significantly contribute to solving problems related to global food supply and eliminate hunger in developing countries, and also to raise awareness of the importance of pollinators, the threats they face, and their contribution to the sustainable development. We all depend on pollinators, and it is therefore crucial to monitor their decline and halt the loss of biodiversity. Bees and other pollinators are fundamental for the health of ecosystems and food security. They maintain biodiversity and ensure the production of nutritious food. However, intensive monoculture production and improper use of pesticides pose serious threats to the pollinators by reducing their access to food and nesting sites, exposing them to harmful chemicals, weakening their immune systems. So under the theme, Be Engaged in Pollinator-Friendly Agriculture Production, World Bee Day 2023 calls for global action to support pollinator-friendly agriculture production and highlights the importance of protecting bees and other pollinators, particularly through evidence-based agriculture production practices. The Global Bee Production Day, or the Global World Bee Day ceremony, is also being held in hybrid format from the FAO headquarters today, which was held and will be an opportunity to raise awareness of the importance of adopting pollinator-friendly agricultural food protection practices to protect bees and other pollinators while contributing to the resilience, sustainability, and efficiency of agri-food systems. So bees are under threat. Present species extinction rates are 100 to 1,000 times higher than normal due to human impacts. Close to 35% of invertebrate pollinators, particularly bees and butterflies, and 17% of vertebrate pollinators, such as bats, face extinction globally. If this trend continues, Nutritious crops such as fruits, nuts, and many vegetable crops will be substituted increasingly by staple crops like the rice, corn, and potatoes, eventually resulting in an imbalanced diet. Intensive farming practices, land use change, monocropping, pesticides, and higher temperatures associated with climate change all pose problems for the bee pollination and by extension on the quality of food we grow. So recognizing the dimensions of the pollination crisis and its links to biodiversity and human livelihoods, the Biodiversity Convention on Biological Diversity has made the conservation and sustainable use of pollinators a priority. In 2000, the International Pollination Initiative, IPI, was established. COP decision, Wide version 5, section 2, at the 5th conference of the parties, COPV 5, as a cross-cutting initiative to promote the sustainable use of pollinators in agriculture and related ecosystems. Its main goals are monitoring pollinators' decline, addressing the lack of taxonomic information on pollinators, assessing the economic value of pollination and the economic impact of the decline of pollination services, and protect pollinator diversity. Along with the coordinating the International Pollinator Initiative, the FAO also provides the technical assistance to the countries on issues ranging from queen breeding to artificial insemination to sustainable solutions for honey production and export marketing. So finally, I would like to conclude saying that individually, by planting a diverse set of native plants which flower at different times of the year, buying raw honey from local farmers, buying products from sustainable agriculture practices, avoiding pesticides, fungicides, or herbicides in our gardens, protecting wild bees colonies when possible, sponsoring a hive, making a bee water fountain by leaving a water bowl outside, helping sustainable forest ecosystems, raising awareness around us by sharing this information within our communities and networks. The decline of the bees affects us all. By taking these measures at individual level, we can help in conservation and protection of bees. And as beekeepers or farmers, by reducing or changing the usage of pesticides, diversifying crops as much as possible, and or planting attractive crops around the field, creating hedgerows, we can help in conservation and protection of bees. As governments and decision makers, by strengthening the participation of local communities in decision making, in particular that of indigenous people who know and respect ecosystems and biodiversity, enforcing strategic measures, including monetary incentives to help change, increasing collaboration between national and international organizations and academic and research networks to monitor and evaluate pollination services. We can conserve and protect these bees and various other pollinators. So with this, I shall conclude this commemoration, and then we will move on to our speaker for the day. And we have with us our chief guest. Before that, I would like to show a curtain raiser video, then we'll move on. So we have with us our chief guest for the day, Dr. V.N. Raidu Garu. He is former Deputy Director, Labs and Director, ETI, TNPC Board. And he has various, almost 4 decades in the field of coastal zone management, water, air pollution, control, environment and training. And he has trained in water and air pollution control and trained trainers on pedagogy and andragogy and trained trainer on safety, health and environment. And he's also trainer for environment risk assessment and also auditor for environment testing labs and trainer for environmental laboratory management systems. And he's also expert in environmental due diligence, environmental impact assessment, EMS, ISO 14001 trainer and auditor, and EIA and EDD expert. And he has worked at various positions as research associate in Zoological Survey of India, Marine Biological Station, Madras, Coastal Zone Pollution, Abatement and Management, and also at different levels in the TNPCB labs, and retired as Deputy Director Labs and worked as Director Environment Training Institute. He is presently working as freelance environmental advisory consultant, and his specialization is in water-based water management, treatment, air quality management, waste management, curriculum development, personality and soft skill development, and published more than 50 scientific papers in national and international journals and conferences. And he is also a member of various professional bodies like Indian Association of Air Pollution Control, Indian Water and Environmental Association, Indian Ichthyologist Society, and various other associations, just to name a few. And he has visited other countries across Netherlands, Germany, England, Denmark, Nepal, and he's also been awarded leading scientist of the world by IBC Cambridge, UK. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
For your session, and we thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us and gracing us this occasion. And we are happy that with your presence, we are inaugurating, and as part of your our inaugural session, we are having your presentation on environmental impact assessment. Over to you, sir. We welcome you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Rabindra. I'm happy to be here with you all this evening and make an effort to take you around to the environmental impact assessment that has been promulgated in 1994 and its history, and then its gradual descendants into the 2012 with a lot of modification, things like that. I'm very happy to be here with you all and share my experience, whatever the small experience that I have in the field and the knowledge that I have gained. I'll share with you. Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yeah. The EIA is a process to set up a set of activities designed to contribute pertaining to environmental information to protect and program decision making. This is basically a good tool to assess what exactly is happening in the environment when any activity is taken up to either an industry to be established or a river valley project has to be done and things like that. It is a good tool to make an assessment of what is happening around in the environment. A basic tool for sound assessment of development proposals to determine the potential environmental, social, and health effects of proposed development. The objectives and needs are like this: to foresee and address environmental problems intended as an instrument of preventive environmental management, provides a framework and information for decision making on activities affecting the environment. It also provides rational approach to sustainable development, enables us in carrying out environmental cost-benefit analysis of projects at an initial stage itself. It identifies the regulatory measures and the roles of concerned agencies defined for achieving more efficient environmental management in the field. It provides a cost-effective method to eliminate or minimize the adverse impacts of developmental projects, enables the decision makers to analyze the effect of developmental activities on the environment well before the development of the project that has been implemented before it. Encourages the adaptation of mitigation strategies in the developmental plan itself. It makes us sure that the developmental plan is environmentally sound and within the limits of the capacity of assimilation and regeneration of the ecosystem. This is more important. The history is, let us see how it has come out into the system. The need for it has been identified in 1976-77 when Planning Commission asked the Department of Science and Technology to examine the river valley projects from an environmental angle. The first EIA notification was promulgated in 1994 by the then Ministry of Environment and Forest. Now it is called the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The notification mandated environmental clearance for expansion or modernization of any activity or for setting up new projects listed in Schedule 1 of this year. What are the components that are involved in this EIA process altogether? We have to look into the various variables like water, land, energy, research. Then you have to look into the air, noise, biological environment, and socio-economic aspects. proposed project. All these are to be studied in detail for a period of, there are two kinds of things that they have issued. One is a short-term study and a long-term study. For some projects, they ask to conduct a year-long monitoring and evaluation of the results and then present it in the form of a report. This is what these are the main components that have to be studied under this. The under sub-rule 3 of Rule 5 of the Environment Protection Act 1986 for imposing certain restrictions and prohibitions on new projects or activities or on expansion or modernization of existing projects or activities based on their potential environmental impact as indicated in the schedule to the notification being undertaken in any part of India unless prior environmental clearance has been accorded in accordance with the objectives of National Environment Policy as approved by the Union Cabinet on 18 May 2006. This is the notification becomes very, very predominantly used in all the projects. This notification has got these salient features. EIA notification 2006 was notified by MOEF. The 1994 was a broader issue, and that gradually has taken the shape into this. And now in 2006, they have come up with more stringent guidelines to perform it in a better fashion. From the date of its publication, construction for new activities, the expansion or modernization of existing activities beyond the threshold limit, or any change in product mix by beyond the specified range shall be undertaken only after the prior environmental clearance. This environmental clearance becomes a mandatory thing for all the category of industries that have been brought under the category A, B, and B1 also now, because they have included one more category, B1. The EC shall be obtained from the central government, MOEF, category A activities, or from the state level EIA authority, duly constituted by the central government, for category B activities before any construction work or preparation of land, except for securing the land. While securing the land, they need not have to do this, but when they wanted to establish an industry or any facility, they have to take the environmental clearance from the respective authority. Expert appraisal committee at the center and state appraisal committee at the state shall screen, scope, and appraise the activities in category A and B respectively. An application seeking prior EC in all cases shall be made in the prescribed form 1 along with a copy of the pre-feasibility project report in case of construction activities and concept at the conceptual plan. For all applications seeking prior EC, for example, the EC or SAEC will decide due diligence necessary if it is necessary, including preparation of EIA and public consultation. They also do due diligence in some cases, or if it is warranted, then they do the EIA and then they go for the public consultation method. The regulatory authority shall consider the recommendations of the EC or SAEC concerned and convey its decision to the applicant. Clearances from other regulatory bodies or authorities shall not be required prior to the receipt of application for prior EC. Before the EC, they need not have to go in for the factory inspectorate clearance, then land departments clearances, etc., etc. They need not have to go for that, but they have to get the environment clearance. The prior EC granted may be transferred during its validity to another legal person with a written no objection by the transfer to and by the regulatory authority. No reference to the EAC or EEC industry in such case. The transfer is done in this process. The pending cases on the date of final publication of this notification, the central government may relax or any one or all provisions of the notification except the list or continue operation of some of all our provisions set in the state notification for a period not exceeding 1 year from the date of each notification. They can change. They can ask for extensions and other things, and also change of ownership and other things can be done within 1 year period. The stage one, and this is the process how they do it in total. Screening only category B activities. State environmental authority will determine whether it requires further environmental studies for preparation of an EIA. The project requiring an EIA report shall be termed as category B1 and remaining projects shall be termed as category B. Scoping of that is will be determined. The detailed and comprehensive terms of reference will be given, addressing all relevant environmental concerns for the preparation of an EIA. They issue a TOR when we submit the form 1 to the respective authority like EIA authority at center or the state, as the case may be. They'll issue the terms of reference. According to the terms of reference, they have to go in and do the environmental impact assessment studies. Construction, townships, commercial complexes, housing shall not require scoping. Applications for prior EC may be rejected at the stage itself. They can reject the cases at any stage. The stage 3 is public consultation. All category A, B1 activities shall undertake public consultation. Except 6 items they are given in the list. I will show you that list. It shall have 2 components comprising a public hearing at or in close proximity, and we obtain responses in writing from other concerned persons. A lot of NGOs are involved into this, and they generally give their responses in writing. The public hearing shall be conducted by the State Pollution Control Board within 45 days of a request to the effect from the applicant. The concerned regulatory authority and the state board shall invite response by placing on their web pages. Also they have to do it in the papers, the local papers, etc. With the summary of EIA report prepared in the format along with a copy of the application within 7 days of the receipt of the written request for arranging the public hearing. After completion of the public consultation, the applicant shall address all the material environmental concerns expressed during the process and make appropriate changes in their draft EIA and EMP. EMP is the environment management plan that they have to prepare for a period of 5 years down the line. The stage 4 is the appraisal. Appraisal means the detailed scrutiny by the EAC or state environmental impact assessment authority in a transparent manner in a proceeding to which the applicant shall be invited for furnishing necessary clarification in person or through an authorized representative. The EIA clearance process, I am just putting it for whatever we have talked there, and the same thing is being given in a pictorial format. But the proponent will give application to MOEF or the state authority, as the case may be, with Form 1A and TOR proposal. The TOR finalization and conducting EIA will be issued by the MOEF. Then these people should apply to the state board. Simultaneously, they have to do it. Then the public consultation hearing. While we give the application to state board, the respective officers come and inspect the site, and they give their recommendations to the authority. Public consultation the public consultation will be conducted by the collectors of the respective places in coordination with the state board. And then they conduct it, they record it. Now they have to record it. Now they have to shoot it and record it. Everything has to be recorded and very in a presentable mode. Environmental appraisal by EC, SPHC and all that. Then they issue the environmental clearance. Once the environmental clearance, the proponent has got it, then he has to go for consent for establishment or operation by the state. This is the process that is for the EAA. I have just tried to compare the EAA notification of 1994 to throw a light on the what exactly has transformed from 94 to 2006 for the benefit of all of us. In EIA notification 1994, it was only the central government with the Ministry of Environment who is only looking after all these projects on which and everything was done at that stage only at the center. Gradually, this has been diluted and it has been given, the powers have been given, decentralized the powers and given to the state boards to conduct. Only those projects which attract A1, they only go to the ministry. In 1994, the number of projects were asked to do the EIA was 32. In 2006, the number has gone to 39. They have deleted 4 projects and added more 11 projects. Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India is the competent authority for recording environmental clearance for all projects except for certain thermal power plants for which environmental clearance is recorded by the state. That was the condition in 1990. Then 2006, they have divided this into 2 formats, in category A and category B. And they have given the parts to the expert appraisal committee at the center and state appraisal committee, state level appraisal committee, the state level. Projects attracting general conditions shall be treated as category A. Projects attracting specific conditions will not require environmental clearance. There are certain projects which do not require the environmental clearance, even though they fall under category A. Protected areas notified, the project located within 10 kilometers from the conditions that are laid down for when you conduct the EIA and then present to them. These conditions have to be taken note of. The projects located within 10 kilometers from protected areas notified under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 are critically polluted areas as identified by the Central Pollution. CHEPI that we have done during 2000 to 2010, we have done a long exercise and formulated this critically polluted areas, identified about 350 in the entire country. And under that, those areas, wherever they are there, they cannot establish any new industry in that area. And notified eco-sensitive areas. If it is there within the 10-kilometer radius of that proposed project, they don't allow them to establish. Interstate boundaries, they cannot put the industry in the interstate boundary lines. These are the specific conditions that they have, they are general conditions they have laid down. If any industrial estate, the specific conditions, or if any industrial estate, complex, export processing zones, HEZ, biotech parks, leather complexes with the homogeneous type of industries, such as chloralkali industry, leather, skin and hide processing, petrochemical based processing, synthetic organic chemical industry, are those industrial estates with a predefined set of activities, not necessarily homogeneous, but obtained prior environmental clearances The individual industries located in that complex need not have to go for a separate EIR under this. Ministry of Environment in 1994 is the competent and only competent authority. State government is competent authority for certain power projects. But in 2006, they have again made two heads, the State Environment Appraisal Committee and the Central Appraisal Committee, to share the burden of the industrial projects that are dumping in, and they could not clear lot of projects. They were in. There was a big beeline for the project clearances. So they have come out with this. In 2006, they have come out with this arrangement. State pollution in 94, state pollution control boards are entrusted with work of conduct of public hearings, coordinating with the public hearing panel, collecting the minutes of the public hearing, and considering the issue of no objection certificate prior to environment clearance. But in 2006, they said the state pollution control boards are entrusted with the work of conduct of public hearing within 45 days. There was no time limit during the 1994 notification. In 2006, they made it very specific and said that within 45 days of that work is not done, they take it is very seriously viewed by the center on the state boards. The public hearing is not carried out within the specified period. The central government in MOAF, the state government shall engage another public agency or authority which is not subordinate to the regulatory authority to complete the process of public hearing within the further period of 45 days. That is, within 90 days, in any case, they have to finish this process. State Pollution Control Board, in this, the state NOCs are not required. State Pollution Control Board shall arrange for a video film, the entire proceedings and video tape shall be enclosed with the public hearing proceedings. These are the specific conditions that are given. In 94, that was missing. Public hearing by State Pollution Control Boards, 1994, it was 60 days, time period. Environmental impact assessment to be completed by 90 days. Communication of the decision by the competent authorities to the applicant, that should be done in 30 days. In 180 days, they have to complete the entire process, but it never came out well. So they have decided in 2006 to give a lineage and lenience of the dates, and then they have given some more time for the entire process to be taken. To decide on the terms of reference by EC or SAEC, they take 60 days. Public hearing by State Pollution Control Board, from the after the 60 days, they consider this 45 days. If they fail to do this, they'll hire public hearing by another agency in case State Pollution Control Board defaults on time. Communication of public hearing minutes and other things. They given another 45 days. Generally, they gave it to IITs and national institutions to do this job. Project appraisal by EC or SAEC. The communication of public hearing minutes should be done within 8 days from the date of their finishing. Within that 45 days, after the 45 days, they give another 8 days to finish up. Project appraisal by state authority or the central authority, they are given 60 days time. Grant or rejection of environmental clearance by the authorities is another 45 days. Communication of the decision by the competent authority to the applicant. The total time frame given is 260 days. It was previously 180 days. Now it has been gone to 263 days. If MOF, Government of India state, in fact, disagree with the recommendations of the EAC, SC, EC, will be requested to consider their recommendation within 45. They have to do, the corrections and other things have to be incorporated, and then this had to be resubmitted within 45. EC, SC, has to publish the views within 60 days from that calculation. Communication of the decision of the competent authorities to the applicant within 30 days. The whole process takes a year. This is what is the previously it was done within 180 days, and now it has become done. This is another drawback in this process. Even after giving a lot of authority to the state authority, in the base that have been given is previously made for any project, it becomes very difficult for them to. The schedule of projects that are under this 2006, 94, there are 32 projects. In 2006, what they have done is they have removed some of the projects from here. They are all tourism projects, investment more than 5 crores. Electroplating, tarred roads in the Himalayas and forest areas, that is being removed from this list of projects that are mentioned in the EIA notification. And the synthetic rubber also. They have added some more, like coal wash wheels, mineral beneficiation, coke oven plants, soda ash industry, sugar industry, isolated storage and handling of hazardous chemicals. This has become a very crucial thing because a lot of what you call it, accidents have occurred during the period of from 94, 98 onwards. We faced almost 60, 70 cases like this. So they have listed these projects under this EIA notification. All shipbreaking yards, that is, there are again the hazardous substances will be there, so they have brought it under this. Common hazardous waste treatment, storage, disposal facilities are also brought under this. Aerial passenger ropeways also brought under this. Common effluent treatment plants that has become more predominant in the after 2000. Common municipal solid waste management facilities also have been brought under the list of projects and activities require prior environment clearance are category A projects and category B. These are the in mining power sector, what are the capacity which falls under what category? Mining of minerals, can equivalent to 50 hectares of mining lease areas as best as mining irrespective of mining area, they all fall under category A. Then greater than equivalent, then more than or equivalent to 5 hectares of mining lease areas with comes under the River Valley project, thermal plants, nuclear power plants. All nuclear power plants come under the category A, and it has to be scrutinized by the environmental appraisal committee. Coal washeries, 1 million ton per annum throughput of coal. They have to go under category A. Less than 1 million before mineral verification, 0.1 million ton per annum mineral throughput, throughput, less than 1 million, 0.1 million goes to the metallurgical industries, primary metallurgical, sponge iron, secondary metallurgical industries, are all brought in the category A. Cement plants are also brought in. Then 1 million tons will go to the state. Petroleum refining, asbestos milling and asbestos-based projects, potash industries, they all go to the category. Chemical fertilizers, all these pesticide industry, petrochemical complexes, all projects. Man-made fiber manufacturing area, the other manufacturing man-made fibers, cotton and other things. Petrochemical based industry located outside the notified industrial area estates. Synthetic organic fertilizer. All these industries have service sectors also come to physical infrastructure and environmental. Airports, all shipbreaking yards, they all come under it. They get industrial estates housing at least one category B industry and an area of than 500 hectares industrial estate. Area of better than 500 hectares and not housing any industry belonging to category A or B will be allowed. Common hazardous waste facilities, treatment, storage, disposal facilities, all integrated facilities having incineration, landfill, or incineration element. They fall under all facilities having landfill only landfill projects will be going under. Building and construction projects, they're all being given under category B. So they go to the state townships and other area development projects are also. I've just tried to emulate something from the EIA in foreign countries, how they work. In China, EIA is required before commencing of any project. On failure of the above, the proponent to submit a makeup of environmental assessment and the penalty of US 25,000 maximum to environment protection. They have to pay this. In New Zealand, because other countries have not seen this EIA process anywhere, as far as my knowledge goes. Maybe recently they have added anywhere. I have no doubts. The EIA is referred as assessment of environment effects. In fact, in India, in 1994, EIA notification, they were doing EA, environment assessment, prior to the environment impact assessment study. They were doing EA. This is called environment assessment. Some places they asked for to go in for due diligence also, environment due diligence. I have done two projects for certain industries on the advice of the Ministry of Environment and submitted my report. That is my experience I am sharing. The first use of EIA dates back to a cabinet minute passed in 1974 called Environment Protection and Enhancement Procedures in New Zealand. Resource Management Act was passed in 1991 and an EIA was required as part of a resource consent application. Even they established small establishments, they have to get the clearance. In United States of America, EIA is referred as Environment Impact Statement, originated in the National Environment Policy Act in their act. TEPA process is to ensure that the decision maker is fully informed of the environmental aspects and consequences prior to making the final decision. The adequacy of an EIS can be challenged in court of law. In our case, it is not. Any questions? If nothing, thank you. They can ask the question.
Yeah, no, great question.
Sir, I'm open to the questions.
Thank you, sir. It was really wonderful presentation on EIA. In fact, that is also my favorite topic. It was a really insightful. You have also given a comparative, gist of EIA in India and how it is in other countries, and you covered the history, how this EIA Act and other rules and regulations have evolved in India over a period of time. So it was very well presented. So I have a query, but I will be taking the privilege to ask in the last. We'll give our friends the opportunity. So dear friends, if you have any queries, you can use chat box or you can raise your hand so that we can unmute yourself. Feel free to share your feedback, comments.
Stop sharing.
Feel free to share your comments. You can raise your hand so that we can unmute yourself. So don't worry about the certificate. Conference has just now started. It's a 3-day conference. All these should not be a priority. Acquiring knowledge should be a priority whenever we have such senior, professionals with us. We need to be very contextual. Such queries are always answered. Anything related to subject, feel free to share. Swansea Seva, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Swansea, do you have any query?
Yes. I have a query here. This is from Papua New Guinea.
Sorry,
And,
which country?
Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
Papua
New Guinea.
Okay.
This
welcome.
presentation. Oh, thank you. This presentation was very, very, very informative. And I have a query here, a question. So can you go back to the slide on scoping, and can you please explain the scoping?
You want to explain on scoping?
Yes, scoping, because I didn't understand the scoping well. So can you go and just explain a little bit on scoping?
You want to share screen again?
So
Yes.
Raidu garu.
Wait a minute. Just been working, trying to work in scope.
So you are joining from Afghanistan?
Papua New
No.
Guinea is in the Far East.
Far East.
It is
Yeah,
Far East, that islands.
yeah.
Where it is?
Yeah, Mary, you can unmute yourself before sir pulls out PPT.
Good evening to all. I thank Dr. Ravindra sir and Sri Holistic Health Foundation and Sri Research Center for Art Science and Wellbeing for giving me this opportunity to raise my opinion. Sir, it was very informative because I learned a lot of things from a session. It more a learning session for me, sir, because I'm from a different background. So I gained a lot of knowledge about the environment things. And I jotted down lot of points, and I gained very immense. You have immense knowledge and experience, sir. Congratulations and God bless you, sir. Take care, sir.
Thank you, Mary, for your feedback. Anyone else would like to share? Feel free to share. Anyone else? This is very much important topic because we are facing a lot of issues, climate change. And everyone is being affected. No one is left behind by the impact of our biodiversity change or climate impact.
I have not. Hello.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
The thing is, he was asking from the process. I have given the history and the history of this EAA, how it has evolved during the course of 94 to the 2006. I just call the scoping is done in the EAA process. The EAA process is totally done taking into consideration the area which falls under which is proposed for the project and the type of project and other things. Based on that, they do this scoping. I have not brought it in here. I can send him the scoping for any particular issue we get. That process I have not done. I've done only the introduction of the Mrs. Fancy.
Yeah, hope your query is answered. Swansea.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us all the way and for your appreciation and query.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any queries? Feel free to raise your hand, or you can use chat box. Or you can unmute yourself one by one.
No problem.
So no queries. Okay. So then there are few appreciation. I will go to chat box and see for queries. In the meanwhile, you can also unmute yourself and share your queries. There are a lot of appreciation messages in chat box. Wonderful session, very interesting session, insightful session. Please share PPT. Very informative session. Thank you all for your appreciations from Ramya Shri, Dr. M. Prabhu, Sunil Kumarji, Susmita, Charusrila, and Santosh. It was really wonderful session. Thank you, everyone. A lot of you were sharing your appreciations. Hope there are no queries. And Dr. Neelmani, very informative session on EA. Okay, there are a lot of appreciation messages, but no queries as of now. So I have one query, Raidu Garu.
Sir.
Sir, if we, as you have given, as we understand that this EIA is done based on a particular industry, if I am not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Based on a purpose, if any industry has to be established, it may, or any project has to be taken up, EIA is conducted.
Yeah.
Can we conduct an EIA in general on a city or on a state, covering a wider aspect? Is that possible? Or has there been any instances of such EIA conducted on any cities? If you can share, that would enlighten us.
Yeah, it is not done in our country, but Germany, they have done for an industrial city. I can share you that paper. It is almost in 1991 they have done that. If I find paper, I'll definitely share it with you. But in India, we have not done any such study. We can do it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, Dr. Jayachandra Garu.
Yeah, if there is no questions from anyone, I want to ask behalf of some youngsters, like this environmental impact assessment, EIA. See, generally at school level and even graduation level, particularly non-professional courses. So it will be taught like a theory, environmental, like a science or a theory, and mostly teaching the students to follow the nature, protect the nature, all these things, but they are not aware of this assessment. So to such beginners, maybe young graduates or young graduating students, so how this assessment, impact assessment, can be introduced? Because sir has a lot of experience addressing a different variety of participants, from young generation to the senior most decision makers of this country and world. So maybe I just want to make, I think there are few students also in the participant. That's where I'm asking for them. And even I always love to know the fundamentals. So I want to hear a few words on this comments from Raidu. So the impact assessment, see, the theoretical concepts is something that people will simply understand. But when it comes to the assessment, impact, its impact assessment, in a simple way, what are certain any parameters? For example, a student moving in a city like Hyderabad, he finds something environmentally a wrong activity or environment, degrading activity. So what is the way that he can react? What is the way he can maybe in terms of complaining or in terms of measuring it, and so that to bring it to notice, all these things. Maybe just give small idea, because everybody in common society, they come across certain damage to the environment. When it comes to that situation, what is that they can do? How can they assess this, whatever that impact? Maybe few words, because there is a time and also participants have not asked many questions. I just want to take you to extend for few more minutes in this.
I'm happy, Dr. Jayachandra. It is in fact, it is not brought under the EIA. EIA is something specific to the industry. And any complaint like this, we have a complaint cell in all the pollution control boards. If you find an industry is making some emissions from its chimneys, you can directly call the pollution control, the concerned pollution control board, and complain to them, stating that this is the fact. I want an answer on this. They'll immediately respond to you and give you the input. And they also go to the site and they do the required assessment and give the instructions to the particular industry, or say, for example, some people are burning tires on the road. That is a big nuisance in these days. Some people burn garbage on the roads. That is an environmental impact. That is is a temporary impact. But long-term impacts are being done under this EIS 20.
I agree, sir, and it's very good information to the students also. PCBs maybe and their officers, the network officers to the town and then lower level panchayats and all, you are concerned with from government side about pollution control and all. For example, this is like you give an example of an industry which is emitting some bad emission, whatever. But for example, you see there may be thousands, hundreds of vehicles following the norms with proper pollution check and all. There may be 1% vehicles that totally spoils and bring whatever the damage to be done, that just with 1% of vehicles. This is what is major observed in India. You visit any city, there is no violation to this, including our capital city to our Hyderabad, or you call whatever beautiful clean garden like our Flori Madam in Bangalore. Everywhere you see in a day, if you travel in a few kilometers, 100%, I can say 1% vehicle. And this is not a entity that you can record and you can say all these things. In such situation, how people can complain? Is there any way to complain to the PCB?
For vehicular pollution, the vehicular pollution doesn't come under the purview of the pollution control boards.
Okay.
This comes under the Department of RTA, Road Transport Authority, and the police. The police have to take note of the such vehicles and they can put the vehicle out off the road. That is being done. Even when I was working in Tamil Nadu, I used to complain to the police officers that 100, you call 100, and you give the number of that vehicle. In the next traffic junction, they'll put the halt on the vehicle and put it aside from the road and get it cleared that emission is being checked, and then they ask the owner to get it rectified. Then only they leave the vehicle. This is how it is being done. Only in industry, for municipal solid waste, we are concerned. Then I'm sorry, I'm talking as a pollution control board man. Then if there is any default from the industry, you can complain to the pollution control board. We have the lines open all the 24 hours for complaint. Each pollution pollution control board, I know the number, but I do not know the.
Do they receive complaints from online? Because every time public cannot go to these offices where they are also there.
Call them on phone.
Yeah, one is phone. Maybe if they
online also on their webpage.
yeah, if that is provided, people at least, because everybody with smartphones and all.
Yeah.
Can
I do agree. Thank you.
yeah. Maybe with that perception that what you gave about RTA and police, I think in this country we need to train them. We need to take environment related classes to these both departments. My observation, I feel the both are busy in other activity except this, with zero concern about environment. Like police is ready to book a vehicle if he is parked wrong. He is ready to book a vehicle if there is a violation, helmet or something else. Maybe that is road safety, I agree. That is also purpose of public safety. And another thing is more fine collection and all these things. But environment, what I observed is zero. No vehicle was stopped with environment which is emitting, violating completely and polluting the entire track. I never saw anywhere. Maybe in our participants, if they find such thing in a city wherever they belong to, I feel very happy if that is there. So ultimately, you made one opened one more domain for this RT and police also, because they can only take some action when it is an issue with public, polluting environment and all. So maybe that is a more scope for future to train people, particularly police and RT also. That's a good idea. If anybody in the participant decision makers are there, they will make a point of it. Like I had my own experience training railway people, because they whatever cleanliness, sanitation, hygiene, all these things should be done properly. That whatever the toilets and then the train kitchen, everything. These are all. They also underwent this environmental related training because they come from different domain. They are not aware of the standards, environment standards. What happens to this? Simply they're throwing out is not good, and even a lot of pollution across the track is also you will observe only in Indian conditions or similar developing country environments. But developing countries there is a proper mechanism. The tracks are not polluted like how it is polluted with urinals and all. So maybe like that, railways and maybe next police, next RTA. So that means I think environmental became a very universal now. So each and every department need to learn the basics and at least understand the rules and regulations also. So as a responsibility of individual. So I think I took not like a question. So some explanation. So thank you. So Ravindra I should thank.
Your question is quite relevant because it is the concern for environment is more important than anything else because you are feeling the pinch of it. I also we have done enormous work in Tamil Nadu. We trained RTAs and all the road transport inspectors and the policemen on the road. We have done health studies for them, so they are well aware of this pollution problem. So you have to make aware these people in all the cities, so that they'll get concerned about this and then they do the justice. That is my feeling.
Thank you, sir. Ravindra Garu, please take it forward.
Thank you, Jayachandra Garu, and thank you, Raid Garu. Even I also had this very in mind, how to take this, concept, especially environment impact assessment, to the young children, especially school children and college children. How do we take it forward in a way they can understand easily and adopt easily? So that was maybe that was also my query. If you would like to add on to that, Raidu Garu, you can please go.
Thank you, Ravindra Garu. It is quite a tough task, I feel. Anyway, I'll try to do this and give you some pictorial book or something. I'll come up with that so that we can train the young children. It is not exactly the environmental impact assessment study or anything. We can call it as environmental assessment. Basically, this environmental assessment itself says different aspects which we have to look into, where we have to take them, and who is responsible for what. This has to be done. I checked, I have done some 2-3 courses for the children also, school children. If I lay hands on that, I'll definitely share with you.
Thank you, Raidu Garu. There is one query from M. Shashireka Mani. Greetings of the day, sir. Could you please suggest some recently available project grants in our country for undergraduate students to create awareness in rural and urban society?
Recently, the Ministry of Environment has come out with such they asked her to open the Ministry of Environment and Forest, the MOE of website. They have Envis program. Under Envis program, they fund different organizations, individuals who wanted to carry forward the environmental education. They can get the funding.
Thank you, sir. So hope your query is answered. You can visit Ministry of Environment and you can check further details.
They can take my number if they want any further help also, I'll extend my hand.
Yeah, you can contact us so that we can connect you, Raidu Garu, just in case if you need any further information. So, anyone else have any queries? We can quickly take it up or we can sum it up for the day. For this inaugural session, then we will move on to our presentations. Okay, so I take the privilege of, on behalf of all the presenters and participants, and also on behalf of the organizers and collaborators, to thank you, sir, for your gracious presence and for your wonderful session. Dr. V.N. Raidu Garu for the inaugural and inaugurating this conference and being part of this wonderful session. We express our heartfelt gratitude to you for joining us and deliberating your sessions. On behalf of Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, Sri Research Institute, Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing, Pure Earth Foundation, Global Information Technologies, Center for Environmental Development, Vishwa Vasudha Educational Society, Ishwara Prasada Ayurdalayam, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, and also on behalf of the International Multidisciplinary Fraternity and all others who joined hands in this conference for conducting and organizing and being a helping hand with us for this wonderful 3 days conference. So we once again thank you, sir, for joining us on this wonderful occasion, and we look forward for more sessions in future, and we wish you all the success and hope this support will be extended in upcoming events as well. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you.
Dear friends, so we will dear friends, feedback form for the session 1 has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to attend to the feedback. Dear friends, the feedback form has been raised in the form of polls in the Zoom platform. You can access if you have accidentally closed the feedback form. You can access it from the menu. You can see polls or quizzes. When you click on that, you will see active polls and you can attend. If you are not able to see, if you are joining from a web browser, there may be some issues. We request you to join from Zoom app. If you are joining from mobile, you need to swipe top or bottom or right or left according to your device so that you can see the poll window, or you can also access the polls from the menu options in the Zoom platform in the app. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. If you are not able to access, you can quickly sign out and sign in. And also you can try upgrading your app or updating your app. That will also solve the problem. You can log out and log in immediately with the same link so that you can see if you are unable to see. And after filling up the feedback form, kindly stay on the platform. We have another sessions, upcoming other sessions coming up. This is feedback form for session 1. At the end of all sessions, we'll be sharing overall feedback form. It is mandatory for receiving certificates to be eligible for the certificate. So kindly stay back on the platform. The feedback form will be open for 5 minutes. We request everyone to start immediately attending to the feedback form. All the details are available on the flyer, on the website, on the invitation message you have received through email or WhatsApp. And even in the chat box, we have shared the website address and the registration form. All the details, including flyer, is also available in the registration form, or even the website link is available. You can see the flyer also displayed while you are filling up the feedback form. We have all the details mentioned on the flyer. You can see it's a 3 days international conference. You can see the conference themes and sub-themes on which you can make a presentation. And you can also see the registration form. The regular registration is closed and you can register with the same form for on-spot registration. If you want to present, you can register with the same registration form and share all the details as required. The format is mentioned in the registration form. Kindly copy the format to your email address and fill up all the details and attach all the files required, because system automatically processes, so the format is very important. Without that, system will not accept the data and your certificates will not be generated. This is only for presenters, those who are presenting papers. We request everyone to strictly follow the format and instructions mentioned. For participants, you have to register and participate, then provide feedback in the form of Zoom polls, and then After the conference, your certificates will be updated on the website based on your eligibility criteria, and you can download your participation certificate. For presenters, speakers, panelists, and resource persons, kindly register and share all your files and details as mentioned in the registration form and as well as on the website. Use the same format. You have to copy the format and paste and then fill all the details, attach all the files mentioned, then send to the specified email address, and then check schedule on website, and you can make presentations. You are requested to join at least 30 to 60 minutes before your session for the presentation certificate. The only presentation certificate will be provided to the presenters. If you need participation certificate, you need to attend all the sessions as required. The minimum attendance is required for the participation certificate. So accordingly, you can choose and you can attend. If you need only presentation certificate, you need to attend at least 1 hour. That is, you have to join 1 hour before or half an hour before, and you have to stay another half an hour to be eligible for the presentation certificate. And if you want participation certificate, you have to attend the minimum criteria for the day to put up your eligibility for the presentation certificate. Participation certificate. So for 3 days, every day, the feedback form will be taken in the Zoom platform only. There is no link that can be shared in the externally. So feedback form will be taken. Feedback will be taken on the Zoom platform only. So we request everyone to update your Zoom app or upgrade your Zoom app so that you'll not face any issues. And always try to attend with Zoom app. And be attentive. Sometimes if you are not on the Zoom screen, especially on mobiles, you will not be able to see the polls which have been raised. And those presenters who have to register or who have registered just now or who are registering on spot, they need to contact immediately after they have shared all the files details as required. It is mandatory to follow the procedure. On this platform, we are very particular about, and we are organizing since more than a couple of years, and especially this series from more than 1.5 years. And since then, since starting, it is the same format, same procedures. So those who have already have presented, they know this format. And for the new presenters, you can follow this format and make your presentations. The presentation guidelines in detail, step by step, has been mentioned on the website. You can see the link also on the flyer. So we request everyone to read through the instructions carefully. All the instructions have been mentioned on the website. And all the sessions are available on YouTube live. You can subscribe to channel, so whenever there is a new session, or it will be notified. So we are closing the feedback form. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form so that we can take up. Those who are unable to see, Dr. Amita, we have informed you to log out and log in. There might be some technical issue at your end. You can try updating your Zoom app to the latest version your device supports. We have, because this is the same process we are taking it since couple of months, and participants, presenters are able to fill the form. So maybe from your end, there is some problem. You can quickly log off and log in. If you are still not able to see, then you need to update your Zoom app and then log in again with the same link. Same link is available for all the events, for all days, for this entire 2 years. So you can use same link whenever there is an event and register for the event and attend all the events with the same link. And maybe you can contact any technical person at your place so that he can help you, because now we cannot show you. Only thing you can do is you can access the polls quizzes in the menu. Otherwise, there may be some technical issue. You can try with logging with other device or other mobile or other computer. Dear friends, quickly fill up the feedback form and stay back. So we'll be moving on to our next session. So for a while, the feedback form will be kept open because this is the first day. I mean, first time we have launched. So maybe participants are still having their time. Request everyone to be in brief, but fill all the details. Because everything is handled by system automatically. We have to strictly follow all the instructions, then only the system will be able to generate all the data required. If you don't follow, then system, computers work as per instruction, as per the programs. So we will be facing issues later on. So we request everyone to strictly follow the instructions as mentioned on the website. As the same procedure is followed since 1.5 years and more, we request everyone, those who are joining newly, to follow the instructions carefully. Still, after all efforts, you are not able to see, you can leave your details like name, designation, your contact number, email address in chat box, and you can also mention that you are not able to do it. You can later on, after this conference, you can sort it out by yourself or taking some help at your end. And we'll make note of your details. Because this is the first time you are joining, we can help you. So we will move on to our next sessions. Next, we have the topic, Impact of Urbanization in India, a review by Dr. Neelmani Jaiswal and Dr. Sudeshna Saha.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. You can start your audio video. Audio is on. You can start your video also and start your presentation.
Is my slide visible, sir?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Very good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I am very much indebted towards Dr. Ravindra sir and also the organization Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing for giving me the opportunity to present my paper on this title, Impact of Urbanization in India, a Review. So basically through this paper, I am going to have the presentation on various aspects of the impacts of urbanization in our country. What are the different kinds of dimensions of its impact? So as we know that urbanization is an index of transformation from traditional rural economies to modern industrial one. So it is a progressive concentration of population in urban units. So as we know that by definition also urbanization connotes the terminology of progress and development. So it's a finite process, or we can call it as a cycle also, through which a nation pass as they evolve from the agrarian to industrial society. So as much we develop our technology, as much we grow our resources, we move towards industrialization, we move towards more technological advancement, which assumes the rate of urbanization. So urbanization occurs as individuals, commercial and governmental efforts reduce time and expense in commuting and transportation, and also improve the opportunities for jobs, education, housing, and transportation. So as I said that as much we progress in our life, opportunity to reduce the time spent in commuting and also to improve the job prospects, also the improvement and development in various educational opportunities. So it seems to be very flowery one. It seems to be very much beneficial for us. So if you see the condition of urbanization in India, we know that in India, urban population, which constitutes a sizable proportion of world's urban population, because we can see that nearly the 12th city dweller of the world comes from India. So the huge chunk of population is having the impact on the urban development of our country. So the degree of urbanization is varying among different states. Like even today, if you see, Goa is considered to be the most urbanized state in India, with nearly 49.77% of urban population, which is followed by Mizoram, Tamil Nadu, and Maharashtra. So again, in India also, we have urbanization which is very much heterogeneous. It's not equal in all the states. Some of the states are more urban districts, more urban regions. Some of the states we have more rural centers. So it's quite varied in our country. So if you see the degree of urbanization, it's higher in southern and western states than even our northern states. So the maximum concentration of urban population is in mostly Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, also in Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal. So it's very important to also mention that the urban population, which is quite high in Uttar Pradesh, and also next 5 states like Gujarat, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh. So they all together account for nearly 30.7% of the urban population. So in this way, I have tried to see the entire trend of urbanization in India. So I have taken the data from 1901 census till 2001 census. So it has been found that the growth of urban areas has not been very much equal across different years or different decades, we can call. It has been quite fluctuating. Like if you see the growth of urban areas in 1971 to 1981, for that 10 years period of time, it has been nearly 46.1%. So the rate of urbanization has been quite high during this period of time. But again, if you go to 1981 to 1991 or 1991 to 2001, it has also reduced. So the fluctuations is this urbanization is also sometimes very much associated with different kinds of policies, different kinds of migration of people, different kinds of the flow of the population from one state to another state. So it has led to a different kinds of growth of urban centers in India. So we cannot say that the urbanization has always been higher. It has not declined. It has also declined in subsequent years also. So if you see the features, like what are the characteristics of urbanization in India, it has been considered to be very much lopsided in our country. Sometimes urbanization has occurred without industrialization and a strong economic base, where we see that there is a urban growth of the population. There is a large concentration of people in the urban area, but those population or those number of people are not having a very strong economic base. So they are more dependent upon the existing resources rather than creating more resources for the survival of the city. So urbanization is basically a product of demographic explosion and poverty induced rural to urban migration. So it's showcasing, it's having the exhibition of more like dependence of the existing the migrant population on the existing population, and creating a kind of inequality and variance in terms of different regions. So rapid urbanization in India has led to massive growth of slums, which is very much characterized by misery, poverty, unemployment, exploitation, inequalities. And the poor quality of rural-urban migration has also led to various poor quality of urbanization. So if you see the urbanization in India, we have seen not only fluctuations in terms of duration, fluctuation in terms of rates in different periods of time, but also we have seen the heterogeneity in terms of its characteristics also. Like it has not contributed immensely to the growth of the city. Rather, it has created a kind of misery, unemployment, poverty, which has created a lot of conflicts between different regions, different states. So the effects of urbanization, if you see, there are a lot of effects, like slum and associated problems is considered to be one of the gigantic problem of urbanization. Like if you see, these slums have extremely unhygienic conditions. Basically, we have seen a lot of improvised laboratories made by digging a shallow pit in various huts, and which has created a lot of hygiene and sanitation related problems. Also, if you see the shortage of housing facilities, which has also compelled the poor people to live in a overcrowded slums. So somewhere the existing infrastructure in the urban areas are also getting dilapidated due to the increasing number of unorganized slums, or we can also call it at denotified slums, where there is a huge problem of a proper sanitation, hygiene, and also proper connectivity with the urban centers. Definitely, transport system is another area where the urbanization has created an impact. We know that in metropolitan cities like Bangalore, in Mumbai, even in Delhi, we find a lot of traffic snarls in the meantime because of the traffic jams. A lot of inconvenience is felt by our people. So all this kind of mess is created because of the lack of urban planning and the lack of a very modernized transportation system. So that's also creating a lot of havoc in the urban areas. Then the problem of garbage, definitely we know that when the monsoon starts, we have the problem of waterlogging, and that's partly created due to the unwanted accumulation of garbage in various class 1 and class 2 cities in our country. Even the cities which are considered to be quite organized and quite developed, also during the monsoon, it is creating a kind of situation where we also get amazed whether it is a class 1 city or not, because we find that the drainage system, the sewerage system is somewhere compromised. So according to one study in World Bank, it has been found that 209 cities in India only have the partial treatment facilities where they can treat the wastewater, and rest of the cities do not have the wastewater treatment. So that kind of problem is creating an issue for urban areas, where the metals, hazardous plastics are all adding to the existing health scenario in our state. Then the sewerage problem, definitely the unauthorized constructions around the city, which is sometimes mushrooming, it has created a sewerage problem. Like 38% of the urban population in our different states have a sewerage system. So rest of the 62% of the urban population do not have a very proper sewerage system. So sewer lines which leads to drains, which take the sewage, it is completely untreated sometimes, and it virtually affects not only our population but also affects the marine life, like some of the coastal districts and coastal cities like Mumbai, even in Delhi also, like Yamuna, the condition of Yamuna, we can see that the river has been highly polluted. So this kind of pollution of water, pollution of the coastal areas, and the subsequent impact on biodiversity is also due to somewhere unwanted and unregulated urbanization in our country. Definitely, environment cannot remain untouched. It has been reported by World Bank that nearly 40,000 people die in India because of the air pollution. So this study has revealed that a number of people have been suffering from respiratory diseases and allergies due to this air pollution, and nearly 23 Indian cities have crossed the dangerous limits. So PM2 level, which is indicator for the particular matter in our air, is sometimes so much high, like if we see in Delhi during the period of your stubble burning, or during the period in our around the year. If you see, we find that the PM2 level is so much high that it's very difficult to breathe in a clean environment. It's very difficult to breathe in a very healthy environment. So this kind of hazard created by our unwanted growth and unwanted burning of stubble, and the different kinds of air pollution created by our effluents generated by the different vehicles, are creating a lot of havoc in our health system. So if you see, and if I try to conceptualize the urban growth in our country, we find that we have developed mega cities. We are working for development of smart cities, but somewhere the growth is very much unwarranted, and it's very much heterogeneous. That in some of the cities we have the growth in a very systematic manner, but in some of the cities we are overburdening the existing population with not only air pollution, water pollution, but also a lot of unregulated slums and a lot of sewerage issues, that the entire city remains sometimes choked with water logging and different kinds of overflowing of the drains, and creating a lot of challenges for the existing healthcare infrastructure. So the policy should be made in such a way where we can operationalize on planning issues, and also we can operationalize the restorative factors in those cities, so that this development planning could emphasize on development of newly annexed urban areas. So then we can see that yes, urban development has somewhere the space to contribute to the existing growth of GDP and economy of our country, rather than devastating the existing infrastructure and creating havoc for our healthcare. So with this note, I end my presentation on that. Thank you very much for patient listening. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neelban Jaiswal. It was a very insightful session. Participants, if you have any queries, you can feel free to raise your hand or use chat box or unmute yourself. So how you did see, what are the strategies or solutions that you would recommend, sir? Because urbanization we cannot stop because population is growing.
Sir, as far as the country's the demographic structure and also the expectation of India towards globe is concerned, we need to have a balanced approach towards not only our urban areas growth, but also the resolution of the existing problems related to urban areas, like the problem of water logging, which is concurrent in our urban areas, the problem of wastewater, like we have seen only 23 cities have wastewater treatment plants. So if we can work on those plans, that every class 2 and class 3 cities could have the annexation with some water treatment plant. So we can ensure the availability of water, as well as also we can deal with the crisis of water. At the same time, if we can have the regularization of slums and put focus on the proper infrastructure development in those slums areas, so that they could have a proper sanitation and hygiene. So definitely urban areas may not be considered to be one of the negative aftermath of the development, rather than it could be contributing factor to the existing India's vision of developing our 5 trillion economy and contributing to the global development.
Thank you, sir. So in the process of your review or research, have you found what are the various challenges that are being faced? And generally, because this urban development has been there, town planning and all various departments, ministries have been there. And we are also, as a social workers, we are also raising concerns about various impacts in a timely manner as an activist, and various other projects also impact assessments are being made. So where do you see the gap, and how we need to address within the existing framework? Can you share some insights?
Sure, sir. Basically, sir, as far as my review of the literature is concerned, for while preparing this presentation, is that we have seen the urban development even in other cities like in China, in Taiwan, and other places which are not European countries, which are in our own continent. And we have tried to see even our own growth. So somewhere the problem is in terms of policy measures, like in urban areas, especially in case of our country, when we grow the town, when we develop the towns, we somewhere displace the rural areas. We sometimes encroach upon the rural areas, and the people are now unemployed, and people are having the problem of their stability of their livelihood, stability of their housing. So they try to flock towards the urban centers in the need of ready income, need of some decent life. So rather than encroaching upon the rural areas and develop the grabbing the land from the rural areas, we need to have the simultaneous approach towards developing the existing rural areas at a par with the urban centers, so that the countrysides, as in Europe, they are as much developed as the cities in European context. In our country also, the rural centers would have the same facility in terms of education, in terms of healthcare facilities, in terms of livelihood issues, so that they may not have to flock to urban areas and create an unwanted pressure on the existing population. Rather, they can stay in their own area and they can develop themselves. So we need to work more on policy measures where we can develop a good housing policy for our rural centers, a good the facilities of education, the facilities of transportation system, the marketing facilities, and different kinds of accessibility of urban-centric institutions like courts and different kinds of your treatment facilities in the existing rural areas, so that people may not have to travel from their local place, from their local city to the urban cities, and try to get attracted and get settled down and create a kind of burden on the urban center. So if we can work on that, definitely the challenges of unwanted burden of population and migration from rural area to urban area could be checked.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful observation. Yeah, that is what required, where if you can prevent the migration from one place to other and concentrate on development locally, every area gets developed, and there are a lot of opportunities there itself, which prevents this migration, even within the country, state, or or within that district also, for that matter. That will also provide ample opportunities for the locals and local population. Very well presented. There are few appreciations in the chat box, and let me look for any queries. There is one query from Ramya Shri. How to save our environment in the urban areas, especially regarding the deforestation in order to build apartments?
Thanks, ma'am, for putting a very pertinent question related to that. Definitely, in our country, when we are moving towards more concrete jungles, we are devastating the natural jungles, and that's definitely a concern for ourselves, because today we are moving towards sustainable development goal of bringing zero carbon emission. But on the other hand, we are cutting the trees, which it's still contributing to the existing carbon existence in our atmosphere. So what we can do, we can have the targets of putting the plants, even growing some of the trees, even in our existing urban centers, because in urban centers where we are cutting the trees and not putting any kind of further that's a kind of unwanted pressure on the existing biodiversity. So definitely there has to be some policy measure where we cannot trees and we can develop the commercial buildings in those places, because we need to assume also the balance of the forests with the our number of cities and a number of the commercial establishments. So we need to have of the land in our country is by the forest areas, and how much trees have been cut, and what are the different kinds of compensation for that. Whether we are going to plant the saplings in our existing apartments, we are going to plant the saplings nearby our urban centers where we have cut the trees for developing the houses, or we are going to reduce the number of urban centers or maybe the apartments expansion. So there has to be one balanced approach. So for that, we need to have a proper policy, then only we can work on that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hope.
Sir, can I add on to what Neelmani said?
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Yes, so I just want to put forward to add on to what he said is that we have an unplanned growth so far as our urban centers are concerned, absolutely unrestricted growth. So it is not a solution that we stop building apartments, because we have such a, teeming millions of population, and that is adding on every single day. So that is not a solution. Solution is that within the existing apartment system, if we can practice terrace gardening, or some form of organic farming kind of the kitchen the kitchen gardening kind of thing, then it may it may percolate down to some extent, it may add on to our solution. But at the same time, apartments, and also how it is a challenge definitely how to make a balance between the flora fauna along with the growing urbanization. Now the problem of deforestation is that has so much is coming up, that the wild animals, or the animals who prefer their natural habitat, they are leaving their natural habitat and they're coming and intruding inside the urban areas. Recently, one of my students was sharing that he lives in a particular semi-urban area where flock of elephants have come from the nearby forest, which is depleting, and because of the heat wave, so much of heat has created fire in the forest itself, and so all the wild animals from the forest have come to the nearby semi-urban area, and that has created a lot of devastation, not only of the resources, but also some of the human lives are also lost. So if this goes on, then there will be absolutely a havoc will be created in days to come. So we need to seriously think about it, that it is we have dug our grave, and that is why we are facing global warming, we are facing heat waves. Our deforestation is leading the wild animals to encroach on our urban areas, or in our space where we live, kind of. And if we move to the cities, then it is absolutely, like he said, that concrete jungle. We should have a jungle full of trees and all, but we have concrete jungle. So the solution is, if we can, in that limited space, if we can promote, some sort of vegetation wherever it is possible, we should promote growing more trees in the parks nearby, so that our next generation will have some sustainable space to grow, to breathe, and we can have a bit of peace of mind. So I believe I have added a bit to whatever he said. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. There is one more query from Santosh. As per your view, which are the best solutions to avoid drainage choke-up in the urban area?
Sorry, sir, could you repeat
Stop
the
usage
question?
of minimization of usage of plastic, I believe. Yes, please carry on, sir. Nilmani Jaiswal, please.
As per your view, which are the best solutions to avoid drainage choke-up in the urban area? As ma'am has said that plastic can be one of the problem issue due to which the drainage gets choked up. But maybe there are other elements are also. Maybe.
Yes, sir. Yeah, if we have the study of the concurrent problem of water logging and drainage in Mumbai, where the Bombay Municipal Corporation is having the highest budget in the country, yearly budget for its development of the entire city, we will find that it's not the problem of only plastic which is creating such kind of havoc in Mumbai-like city. Even in Bengaluru also, we are having in monsoon a lot of problem like water clogging is happening in the drains. Sometimes the urban planning is very much responsible for that, because when we are developing our cities, first we have to think about the drainage system, that how each household, how each apartment is connected with a very good sewerage line, and whether we have any kind of alternative strategy to see that the water, if it is clogged in one particular drain, it could be flushed out maybe through another drain. So do you have any kind of plan, the alternative plan also to respond to the sometimes the incessant rains which happen in various parts of the cities, which is for more than even 5-6 days consequently, and we find that even the drains are not very much efficient enough to flush it out. So rather than only putting the effort on reducing the usage of plastic, definitely plastic is one of the reasons, we also need to think that each urban area, each household is connected with a very well organized drain system and the sewerage system through which the water can be flushed out from the urban center, so that the slums and the toiletries which are already created upon the drains, sometimes we see that there are a lot of slums which are established on the drains, they should not be allowed to be created on that, because due to the influx of various migrants from different neighboring country and different neighboring states, they try to establish their huts, they try to establish their chawls, even on drains also. So due to that also, drains are getting clogged down. So we have to put focus definitely on the housing pattern and the development of the houses. Then only the problem of the drainage system will be resolved amicably in our urban areas.
Thank you, sir. Hope the query has been addressed. As rightly pointed out by both ma'am and sir, one problem is the plastics, and the other problem, as already mentioned, because of limited, limited facilities and with excess input, and that is creating a lot of issues. And other things like when we are disposing, especially it is quite common. Even I also, when I did a study, I have found, especially when I was working, I did some survey with the municipality. The common reason they have quoted is, disposing clothes. When we are washing clothes, some clothes, especially these kerchiefs and hankies and underwear and other things, they while cleaning, they put that water along with certain garments into that. And that also sometimes chokes the sewage system. So this is one input I would like to add on. And apart from that, the waste that we are throwing is also causing, and these, especially when there are open drains and closed drains, sewerage systems, the other waste that is coming, because open drains are very big comparatively, they allow a huge quantity of this waste, solid waste, or the household waste. But when coming to closed systems, they are very quite comparatively small and narrow. And these, when they are connected with each other, and that is also one problem where they are not adequately facilitating the movement. So these are a few issues which I also seen practically, and they shared apart from many other inputs. So any further queries, you can quickly take it up. I don't see any more queries. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful clarification. It's Santosh.
Thank you, Ravindra sir, for giving me opportunity on your platform to present my paper based on the review of literature. I hope in future also I'll be getting the opportunity to showcase my other findings of different papers. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neelmanji and Dr. Sudesh. It was a wonderful, insightful session, especially in the context of biodiversity. We need to address such topics. And as we all know that we are commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. And that's why we have taken up all the topics, because it's more focused on sustainable development. And we have a lot more opportunities. And we request everyone and invite everyone to join us. And we have been successfully able to complete 1.5 years, continuous programs almost every day. And most of the participants or presenters are from academia. We have, not less than a PG scholar attending, and we can see professors, associate professors, assistant professors, research scholars joining us. So, in fact, that was the idea, because as an academic fraternity, we also need to be part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. What we can contribute to the celebrations. So that's how the concept was initiated, and with our support of academic fraternity in India and across the world, we were able to organize. And we also included practitioners also from diverse fields. So we still have another couple of months, 4 to 5 months. So we are also commemorating India's G20 presidency. So we might extend another 1 or 2 months. So we request everyone to utilize this opportunity and encourage your colleagues and research scholars, students, and also practitioners, and invite them. And yeah, definitely you will have more opportunities, sir. Join us, and we wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions in the future. Thank you. So, dear friends, we'll move on to our next session. next session, or in fact, the last presentation would be by Parul Singh. Parul Singh, can you hear us? You can switch on your video also, ma'am. Parul Singh, we cannot see you, and we cannot even see your screen. Parul, can you respond? Your voice is low, ma. You can increase it.
Sir, can you see my screen?
Still, the voice is very, the volume is very low. Your voice is feeble.
Hello everyone, I Parul Singh. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Student of MTech Biotechnology from IIM College of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida, thank Shri Holistic Health Foundation, India, Shri Research Institute and Center for Art, Science and Wellbeing, Dr. Ravindra Sir, moderator and coordinator, and his team for giving me this wonderful opportunity to present my topic on placket-Berman design-based screening of growth medium component to improve the yield of xylanase enzyme using T-resi fungal source, and express my sincere heartfelt gratitude. Let's begin. The objective of my study was to study the growth of T-resi fungi and its relation with xylanase enzyme production using placket-Berman design analysis. Second, the study involved the screening of growth medium component and their impact on enzyme production. Now comes the introduction part. Due to exploitation of environmental resources, the climate is changing and releasing global greenhouse gases. Therefore, there is a need for energy that is both sustainable and environmental friendly. Energy can be produced from renewable resources like plant-based material. One of the sustainable choices is lignocellulosic biomass. It is easily available, low-cost agriculture residue. In this study, rice straw is used as lignocellulosic biomass. It is composed of two kinds of carbohydrate polymers, cellulose and hemicellulose, and aromatic rich polymer called lignin. Any biomass rich in cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin are commonly referred to as cellulosic biomass. Each component has a distinct chemical behavior. Being a composite of three very different components makes the processing of these lignocellulose biomass challenging. Next, in this study, we have used the Trichoderma resi. It is a mesophilic and filamentous fungal. It can secrete large amount of cellulotic enzymes like xylanases, cellulases. Microbial xylanase have industrial application in the conversion of hemicellulose, a major component of plant biomass, into xylose. The enzyme that we have produced in this study is xylanase. It is an enzyme which degrades the linear polysaccharide beta-1,4-xylane into xylose, thus breaking down hemicellulose, one of the major components of plant cell wall. As such, it plays a major role in microorganisms thriving on plant sources for the degradation of plant matter into usable nutrients. Next is the material and methods that are used in this study. First, the Trichoderma resi is procured from IARI, New Delhi, India, and it was maintained on PDA strands at 4 degrees Celsius before inoculum. The media was then, the inoculum was prepared by subculturing the T resi in autoclaved malt extract. The media was prepared by autoclaving at 121 degrees Celsius at 15 psi for 20 minutes. The PDA slant was prepared and incubated for 7 days at 28 degrees Celsius. To obtain the inoculum, 5 ml of distilled water was added to the slant culture and the surface of the slant culture was scrubbed. In a 250 ml flask, 100 ml of PDA broth was prepared by dissolving 2.5 gram of PDV in 100 ml of sterile water. A sterile loop inoculating wire was used to transfer the Trichoderma resi from the microbial culture plate, and the inoculation was done in laminar airflow in a sterile environment. The broth was then placed in an incubator shaker at 28 degrees Celsius and 120 rpm for 3 to 5 days for mycelium growth. Next is the preparation of substrate and alkali pre-treatment. In this study, 150 gram of rice straw was pre-treated with 20 gram of NaOH to obtain 60 gram of pre-treated rice straw. The flask containing rice straw and NaOH was autoclaved at 120 degrees Celsius at 15 LPS for 15 to 20 minutes. Then after the autoclaving, the residue is then washed thoroughly with distilled water to remove the NaOH from it, and after reaching to neutral pH, the residue of rice straw is then placed in hot air oven for 60 degrees for 24 hours. This picture that is showing in the slide is showing that A is the rice straw, B representing the rice straw powder after grinding and sieving, C representing the pre-treatment rice straw with 0.5 molar NaOH, C representing the residue after pre-treatment, and E that is black liquor after separation from rice straw residue, and F representing the rice straw that is dried out for 24 hours at 60 degrees in hot air oven. This dried rice straw is then further used in the study. Third is the design of experiment. In this study, total 12 ml 12 flasks were taken. The liquid medium is prepared with the component present in high level and low level. The component include 7 different medium components, that is maltose, ammonium sulfate, monopotassium phosphate, magnesium phosphate, glucose, ferrous sulfate, heptahydrate and peptone. Each component has a different composition in each 12 flasks based on lower limit and higher limit. Each flask containing 100 ml of liquid medium with 7 components in different concentration according to the Plackett-Berman design. 5 ml of trichoderma resi and 5 gram of pre-treated rice straw was added in 100 ml of each 100 ml of liquid medium in each flask. These 12 flasks were then kept for 15 days at 28 degrees Celsius and 160 rpm. On the daily basis, UV spectrophotometer readings were taken in triplicate manner for xylanase activity, biomass growth and xylose concentration. So the biomass growth was estimated using the Whatman filter paper. The Whatman filter paper absorbs the 5 ml sample, and then each filter paper is dried out at 60 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. The dried filter paper is then weighed on balance machine to calculate the daily basis biomass growth. Next, this slide is showing the different level of concentration of 7 medium component that is used in the study on high level value and on lower level value. First is malt extract, second is ammonium sulfate, third is monopotassium phosphate, fourth is magnesium sulfate heptahydrate, fifth is glucose, sixth is ferrous sulfate heptahydrate, seventh is peptone. Next, this slide is showing the two different pictures. First is showing the setup of 12 flasks. Each flask is containing 5 ml of trichoderma resi, 5 gram of pre-treated rice straw and 100 ml of medium component liquid medium. And the figure 3 representing the setup of funnel having the Whatman filter paper for the estimation of fungal growth. Next, the estimation of fermentable sugar production. The sugar that we are talking about in this study is the xylose sugar. It is estimated by 2 ml of sample from each 12 flasks, then 5 ml of arsenal reagent is added, and then these 12 test tubes were kept on water bath at 50 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and it was cooled down. The readings were further taken at 540 nanometer in triplicate manner. The green color solution in the tubes represent a positive response. The arsenal reagent is prepared by dissolving 0.4 gram of arsenal reagent in 200 ml of concentrated hydrochloric acid and 500 microliter of 10% ferric chloride to form a yellow solution. Now next, the estimation of enzymatic activity. Here we are talking about the xylanase activity. Reducing sugar, xylose is released from xylin, which is measured for assaying xylanase activity. 1% xylin is in 100 millimolar sodium phosphate buffer having pH 7 is used to measure xylanase activity. The preparation of 50 to 200 microliter enzyme is done to make the final volume of 2 ml. Then it was incubated at 50 degree for 30 minutes to measure the enzymatic activity. Now next is the slide that is showing the picture of 200 microliter 200 ml of arsenal reagent and test tube of xylose estimation containing 5 ml of arsenal reagent and 2 ml of sample. Now next, these are the results that are showing the mean standard deviation of repeated data that is taken on daily basis for 15 days of biomass production, substrate utilization and product formation, having the 50 ml per microliter medium concentration. Next, this is the slide that shows the column representation of mean data of previous table of substrate consumption, biomass production and enzyme production. In this you can see that the biomass production is higher in flask 4 condition and substrate consumption and enzyme production is higher in flask 11. Now next is the Pareto chart. This Pareto chart is showing the effect of 7 medium component that we have talked in previous slides. These 7 medium components are based on the placket Berman design in Pareto chart form. There are 12 different runs for optimizing the medium component and all the runs were performed in triplicate. The mean values were considered for the estimation of xylanase production. The Pareto chart is an effective tool for visualizing the responses obtained from the experiment. It shows the red reference line indicating the significant factor and non-significant factor. The study shows the most significant factor is the factor C, that is monopotassium phosphate, and the least significant factor is the magnesium phosphate. Now next is the conclusion of our study. The study outcome demonstrates the potential of LB as a medium for xylanase production, and it highlights the importance of optimizing medium component to maximize enzyme production. The use of placket Berman design in this study provides a convenient method for identifying the significant factor influencing enzyme production. In our study, the result revealed that the maximum yield of sugar and the enzyme was 1.5346 gram per liter and 1.3725 international unit per ml respectively in flask 11, and the maximum bioproduction was 1.3720 gram per liter in flask 4 condition. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Congratulations, Parth. It was a very nice presentation. So, was it pre-recorded video, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Actually, at last moment I was facing some technical issue in the laptop, so that is why I opt for pre-recorded video.
Okay, have you shared that video?
No, sir.
Then you need to share that video also. Okay, ma'am. Congratulations. So, thank you everyone for joining us, and anyone else would like to present, or those who have registered can send your presentations and complete formalities. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll be having, don't wait till last day, because last day we'll be having valedictory sessions, and so we will be having some invited guest speakers. So we may get, we might not get. Always avoid first and last days. Whenever there is a conference, multi-day conference, always try to complete as early as possible. So tomorrow, we'll take it up, whoever wants to present. You can register. if not registered, and share all the details. All the instructions have been provided on the website. We see a lot of queries coming again and again. But we need to invest our time in learning. We are not small kids now. So we need to check the website carefully. And it's only just 3 to 5 pages of website. And all the information is provided, which we commonly have. These guidelines, I will just quickly show before we conclude, so that it's easy for everyone to follow. Let me pick it up. Yeah, Diksha Gupta. You have to register, otherwise I think you have not completed the formalities. You check, I will be showing now the website and what are the steps. Maybe you have overlooked or you have not read the instructions completely. So this is the conference website. And once you just type the website address, you'll be visiting the website. Here, as already mentioned, as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, all the events are being conducted since almost 1.5 years now, and another 6 months is there, where you can choose your topics. And we also have sent an email to each one of you, those who have registered. And also automatically when you fill the registration form, all the details are provided, and a copy of registration form also is provided to your email address. So after first you need to register. Even for all the events, the procedure is same. Every day we have either a webinar or a seminar or a workshop or a conference or a symposium or a panel discussion. In any form, we have daily events from starting from 6 p.m. onwards. So based on that, you can choose almost all the topics which can be presented on the planet are available, because sustainable development is an umbrella term. So you can present as part of webinar or conference. You can just go through the website, and whenever there is an occasion, like we are commemorating various days, so based on the commemorations, we organize special programs. So here you can see the procedure. First, for participants, you have to register, then participate, and then provide feedback in the form of polls in Zoom platform. And then after checking the eligibility, so minimum participation is required. After check, system automatically checks, so there is no manual intervention. So make sure you are following the instructions carefully. Otherwise, you will be having difficulty in getting your certificate. So make sure you are filling up and with valid details and completing your registration, and join in time, so that your attendance, minimum attendance, is also being taken up by the system. All the attendance is automatically tracked by the system, and feedback is also tracked by the system. So it will compare all these three, and then if you are eligible, then it will generate a certificate for you. So everything is automatic, no manual intervention is required. Or at the same time, we might also provide an additional feedback form if at all you need to complete that feedback form. that will be available in the website, or also if it is available, an email also is being sent to your inbox. So we request everyone to save the coordinator's mobile number and also the conference email ID in your contacts so that you receive updates and it is not sent to junk mail or spam mail. And for presenters, once you register, you need to share these details. This format is mandatory because the system automatically takes the data. If you don't use this format, then there will be a problem in generation of your certificates. So again, later on, unless and until you complete this format, your certificate will not be generated. So better complete it now. Prevention is always better than cure. So unless you complete this, you will not be getting certificate. So it is mandatory. So follow the instructions and then proceed to presentation. Sometimes when you join immediately and when you want, suddenly you decide to present, sometimes we give you opportunity even without completing formalities, and you are under obligation to complete, then only you will be able to get your certificate. Many times we have seen, because we are conducting daily sessions and suddenly they take the opportunity and misuse this opportunity and again come back without any registration, without sending formalities and saying I have presented but I did not get certificate. But it is your irresponsibility or negligence without completing formalities. Even if you complete presentation, you will not be provided any certificate because you need to follow the formalities, then only you will be provided with certificate. You can see the flow chart, how the flow goes on. Certificate is the last thing that happens. So and certificate is optional. Whether you want, you can take certificate. If you don't want, you can also opt it in the registration form, in the feedback form. There is an option whether you need certificate, whether you don't need certificate. So similarly, certificate is the last thing and an optional thing. So without certificate also, you can present, you can participate. So don't think that, by just making a presentation without completing formalities, you will be eligible for the certificate. So you need to, because if you need a document from the organization, you have to complete the documentation process from your side. It is mandatory. So very much clear. It is there. Once you open the website, it is clearly mentioned what a presenter has to do and what are details and to which email address. This entire thing is also provided in the registration form. So we have also mentioned clearly that entire thing is handled by system automatically. And we have also provided the guidelines for presentation and for manual verification. This is after, 99.99%, if you have followed the instructions, understood, you will get your certificate automatically. If you have not received, then you have messed up with the system and you have not completed. Then after certificates are generated, then there is a scope for manual verification. But again, you need to put lot of efforts. All these details you have to send to us. Then only we can feed it to the system, and that there is a format for that. The system will not do anything manually, but we will provide the data manually so that system once again checks the data. But again, this will be a tedious process. So let's all be disciplined and follow the instructions. There is a format here, you can check it. So everything is free, no amount is charged for anything. So all the details have been mentioned. So this is the conference details. Registration form is available here. Joining link is same for all the events. For all, any day, any event, you can join with the same link. And it's also very easy. It's the coordinator's mobile number, meeting ID, and the passcode is 2022 year. So very easy to remember. And email, YouTube channel, it changes from event to event or can be also same. So even the YouTube channel link is provided, and the email address, conference email address and website is also provided, and conference schedule. So if you have completed all these things, then once you have shared, see generally what happens, if we have enough time, then you can wait for 1 or 2 days, and our team will verify whether you have completed all the details or not, formalities, and they will accordingly allot you a session as per the availability. Say suppose now you have already conference started and last date is over, and you are registering now for on-spot, then you need to contact, once you share all the details, complete the formalities, then you contact the coordinator so that they will inform team and they will check accordingly and schedule your sessions. So without scheduling also on website, you can join daily so that whenever something happens, technical reasons, speakers don't join or join late, or sometimes a session gets cancelled or postponed. So, and there will be certain additional time where the speaker completes early. There will be some time. So in that time, we can utilize if you would like to make a presentation. So do join until your presentation is completed so that you can utilize when we invite you, if there are any sessions. Today, we are not taking any unscheduled sessions. So tomorrow, whoever would like to present, they can complete the formalities and join. We will take it up. Any unscheduled sessions also, tomorrow we will take it up. Don't worry. But after scheduled sessions only, you have to wait till the scheduled sessions are over. Then we will take it up, unscheduled sessions. So there is also a Facebook group. You can join to receive all updates, not only for this conference. There is also one more conference coming up in June on environment, and future further conferences also on environment and any related. You can join this group. There is also WhatsApp group where you can receive updates. So apart from that, there is direct links also. We have provided conference details and conference sessions schedule, presentation guidelines, e-certificates, manual e-certificate request. Once certificates are generated, then only you have to use. If you couldn't find your certificate and you have completed all things, you have eligibility, but maybe you have missed something. You did not follow, or you did not copy the format properly, or you did not send the details. Then you need to use this format for manual way. So again, this is a burden for you and us. So we request everyone to follow the instructions carefully. All the instructions are available. And you can either, here on the left side, there is always a menu. This will be the latest happening link. And this will be the next conference. So similarly, these first filings are more important for you, where you will see this main page, and you will see about events, why we are organizing what, and about all these things. It is mentioned here. And these are the conferences. This is happening conference, upcoming conference. And for all events, as mentioned, there is a presentation guidelines. This is same for all events. See, here also it is mentioned clearly, everything. So this is mandatory. If you don't read, you don't check, then only you will have a lot of doubts and you will mess up with yourself with all these things. So don't do that. Everything is systematic, very simple process, 5-step process. First, submit your registration form. Then share your details. See, the format is also there. You can just copy the entire format and paste in your email, and then fill up all the details and attach these files, whichever is applicable, and then send it to this email address. And if you want us, coordinator, to check, and if there is any error you would like to get a response, you can also send the same copy to WhatsApp also. See, that is, WhatsApp communications are not permanent. They get disappeared automatically. They get deleted automatically. So sending them to email is mandatory. For convenience, for quick reply, you can also send to WhatsApp. It's always advisable to send to both. Once you send a copy, you can just copy it and send in WhatsApp also, so that immediately we can respond. And after that, what you need to do, you need to check the conference schedule and you can join for the conference accordingly. And if your presentation is not scheduled, so what you can do, maybe something you have missed out or something is missing. So you can contact coordinator. And also, before contacting, make sure that you have completed all this process. So the same thing, you can visit and check. If you can verify by yourself, by each step, whether I have completed or not. And once it is scheduled, or even if it is not scheduled, once you get confirmation from coordinator, you can join at least 30 minutes or 60 minutes before. Because this will help, because if sessions gets completed early, it will also give you an opportunity. And once you join, you inform the host about your presence, that you are available for your presentation and this is your topic, so that we can invite you whenever there is a session. And the joining link has been provided. Timings are provided. It is same every day, 6 p.m. And whenever there is a different time, we will communicate to you. And we also provided these instructions. Before joining, check your Zoom app, system permissions, camera, mic, and presentation. Is whether opening, working properly or not. Keep it ready. Make sure your system device is plugged into power source or fully charged and connected to stable or good or high-speed internet network. And ensure your name is also correctly displayed in the Zoom. So attendance is automatically tracked and feedback is also automatically tracked by the Zoom platform itself. Zoom takes care of everything. So you need to ensure that your attendance and feedback is mapped to your name, because that's the name you have registered, right? So if you are logging with different name or you have some device name like Samsung, iPad or some iPhone, so your attendance will not be recorded. At least have some sensible name. Make sure you are having a same name as registered, or at least you have some sensible name which can identify that it is you, so that you will not face any problem. So once you are invited to present, start your audio and video presentation and start sharing your presentation and stick to the timings, whichever is allotted to you. So sample how you have to start. Always start with expressing gratitude, because that always shows our sanskar, the bringing of the parenting and all these things, because we always start greeting, and then so that shows Gratitude should be our attitude. So you can always start with gratitude, and a sample format is provided. You can use this or you can use your own. This is just for sample only. And if you are anticipating that there is some problem, there will be some problem, or you cannot present at that time, you can pre-record the session and you can play it. So that is one option. But if you are choosing pre-recorded, share the pre-recorded file in advance to us. And while ending also, you express your gratitude properly. This is not just for us, because these sessions are live on YouTube. People also are watching. They also see how we are, starting, how we are ending. So it is always good. It is on our part, no matter. So we start properly and we end properly with gratitude. So that will convey a very good opinion on us. And step 4, after completing the presentation, fill and submit the feedback form in Zoom sessions in the form of polls. So wait, don't just leave immediately after your session is over or immediately after one session gets completed. You wait till polls are there. Today, we have kept the poll open, but it will not be there every day. So there is a time limit for each poll. We will have 5 minutes for each poll. So you can fill up the poll immediately when it is launched, so that, generally while poll is on, we will not conduct any sessions, so that you will be completely concentrate. So the more the time we take, the more the sessions will get prolonged. So again, that is the session timing, overall timing will increase. So let's be very quick and quickly fill up the feedback form within 5 minutes time. And once the sessions starts, we will close the poll and we will continue with. Because at times what happens, the host or co-host or presenters, they accidentally close. Once it is closed, we cannot open it again. All the data will be lost. Again, those who have filled also need to fill it again. So this is a problem. This is a limitation with the Zoom platform itself. So we cannot do anything with that. Everyone in the world is facing same problem. So we have to go with it. So that's the reason. Before we hand over the permissions to the presenter, we will try to end it and give it. Because if the presenter accidentally closes being a co-host, again, we will not be able to raise it. Again, the data will be lost and everyone has to fill it. So we request everyone to understand these limitations and quickly fill up the feedback form so that. And we request all the co-hosts also not to close, not to end the polls. That will be managed, entire polls will be managed by host. You need not worry about any closing or any giving permissions to anyone. Entire thing will be managed by host. You can concentrate only on your presentation. And once your presentation is over, you can stop your presentation. Kindly do not change any settings. So that will create problem for you only, because while you are presenting, if you change settings and again, if something goes wrong, you will lose the opportunity of not completing the presentation. So always adhere to the instructions. And so after submitting your feedback form, then after the conference, because while conference is going on, we cannot tabulate all the attendance checking. Everything has to be checked. So once the conference is over, then we will check everything. The system will automatically check and generate certificates. So maximum into 2 or 3 working days or maximum within a week. If all the details, all formalities are completed, then you can download the e-certificate from the website. So very simple 5-step process. Very simple. All the details have been mentioned in detail. No need to worry. Certificates are there on the website. You can download any number of times. So no need to worry. But only thing is you have to follow. Now see, this is the conference website. All the details are available. Even the flyer is available. See what is the steps. It is clearly mentioned. And conference sessions schedule here. You have schedule for day 1, day 2, and day 3. It is still being updated because they have not yet completed all the formalities. So, and sometimes, on spot also many people are yet to confirm, or so various reasons. So it is also clearly mentioned, and presentation guidelines already I showed. And the final thing, e-certificates. Here also there is an option here. You can click it, or directly from this menu also you can use it. This menu is also sent to your email. In email also, you can see all these are there. So here, day-wise certificates are issued after the conference. So today's certificate will be, link will be there, tomorrow's certificate, like that, 3 days, 3 different links, or same link for 3 days, but certificates will be issued on day-to-day basis. So you'll get 3 participation certificates if you attend all 3 days. Similarly, presentation, whichever day you have presented, you will get that day presentation certificate. So this is regarding certificates. It will be automatically generated by the system based on your registration, participation or presentation, then your feedback. So make sure all details are, all formalities are completed so that system will automatically generate. What happens when you did not follow or when you miss something, then your system will not be able to generate your certificate. Then what you need to do, what all system checks, here these are the details. So these are all things you need to remember. So if you are not following, you are taking the risk of maintaining all these records, which system will automatically do. When you are not following, then you have to maintain everything, and that again is a headache for you. So that's why we tell everyone to follow the instructions carefully. Very simple when you understand. So like this is the details system checks for every participant or every presenter. So you need to send all these details because it's a time-consuming process for us also. We need to check everything and take all the details. So this is last option. Don't go for this option. So just in case if something happens or, sometimes at that time we can check it, and it will take a lot of time also. Every day we have events, so it will not be possible that once you send and it will be generated, because this data, this format also you need to copy exactly. Otherwise it will create problems. So generally this is not required if you follow all the instructions. Only if you don't follow, then that problem will come and you need to send these details. So these are the details system is going to check automatically and generating. So all these details you need to remember and you need to note down and send. So we have clearly mentioned to avoid any delay or waste of your time and resources. It's always follow the instructions. System will, to take the help of the system will automatically generate. If it is not generated, that means you did not complete the formalities. That's why your certificate is not generated. Okay. You can complete, you have to fill all the requests have to be made in this format only. Without this format, without these details, we are not going to respond to your queries. So this is how, very simple process, 5-step process. It's very easy and many are getting their certificates also without any much trouble because they simply follow the system. Those who are not following, they are inviting troubles and they are only facing problems. So let's not trouble the system. And those who are yet to present, those who are willing to present, you register immediately, follow these formats and steps, procedures, and complete your formalities. So by tomorrow we'll present. We will invite you all. Tomorrow, after scheduled sessions, you have seen. After that, we will also schedule, if you complete all the formalities in time, we will also schedule your session tomorrow. If it is not scheduled also, you join. And after all scheduled sessions, we will invite you so that you can present. But for getting certificate, you need to complete all formalities before closure of this conference. So hope everything is clear. So thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, Rachan Karmakar and Diksha Gupta, you can check, you can register on the website with the registration link, and then you share all the details and contact the coordinator so that your sessions can be scheduled tomorrow. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us on this first day of International Conference on Biodiversity. So see you all tomorrow with the same link at the same time, 6 o'clock. Take care. Good night. Hope you have enjoyed all the sessions today.